Okay, this is my coming out story. I don't have any notes, so if I say like, as, or excuse me, sorry, but here we go. Alright, you've always known, like, if you are gay, like, you always know, so it's not like a choice, and there are some people out there that do it for attention. I don't know, never really looked into it, but I was gay from birth, found out around puberty, but the first person I told was, and I was very picky about who I wanted to tell first, because, growing up with all straight friends, like most straight people, I try to help explain it to them, like as a spectrum, I guess, like masculine and feminine. I'm more on the masculine side, so that's where I lie myself at, like, if you want to look at it like that. But I am who I am. But the first person I told was, he's gonna be mad because I'm doing this video, but I told one of my buddies, his mom's gay, so he was very understanding. Like, I would text him like every day and be like, so we're friends, you're not gonna judge me, like, we're always gonna be friends. And to be honest, like, we've only like been friends for technically like 2.5 years. Like, I met him through my biological brother, the one that's close to my age, the one that went into boot camp. On my other video that I have, I kind of had like a little I don't know, whatever you want to call it, just explaining myself a little bit. And I told him, and pretty much as a waiting game until my brother got home from boot camp, which was last week. And I even talked about that too in my last video. And just like, he was my only outlet, like, cause after like 6 years, like I don't know, I'd say like around 12, you start finding out all that stuff, like in the 6th grade. So I'm 18, gonna be 19, so about 6 to 7 years of build up. Like, you gotta let that all out, and like, that was my only outlet. And then, like, you feel so good, like, oh my god, all these emotions come running towards you, and it's all on the line. And looking back, his expression was, really? Because my composure doesn't, like, the stereotypes that people put in their head, I wasn't that stereotype that he had in his head. And there's no stereotype, it's just who you are. And he goes, really? I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, why would I ever choose this? Why would somebody? Because it's such a hard life, because everybody fears it because they don't understand it. And I was like, why would I ever choose, that life because some people don't they don't understand it, so they're scared of it, so they don't look at it. They don't accept it, I guess. So why would I ever want not to be accepted by the people I love? And I don't know where I was kind of trying to go with that, but it was like the only outlet I had for like 3 months. And like, we'd go in circles, and like, dude, I'm not trying to be a dick, but we're talking in circles right now. I was like, I know, dude. I was like, I'm sorry, but like, we got to the point where we could just start joking about it, like, just like gay jokes, or just beef, have fun. It's really fun. And then I finally told my brother. He got home that night, and the plan was that my buddy was supposed to be there when I told him, but like, that night he came home, I was stressing so bad. Like, pretty sure I got a couple white hairs in my head from just stressing so bad. And my oldest brother, on my biological, it'll kind of like lead up to like my family back at home, but my biological family, like, they live about an hour away, so I went to go see my brother for a week. And I kind of told them, and then I'm starting to work up to like, people back at home. And I told, like, we parked over at the barn because we were supposed to surprise my brother when he came home from boot camp. And my oldest brother, my oldest biological brother, and my biological sister, we all hid in the house. We parked our cars over by the barn where he couldn't see him. But coming home, he's very observant, so he kind of knew we were there, and he showed up, and like everybody was happy that he came home and stuff. So I left my charger over in my car, over my truck, and I was like, I kind of have to go get my charger. And like the whole night I was texting my oldest brother. I was like, you love me no matter what. And he's like, yeah, dude, I love you. He's like, you're my brother no matter what. And that's my oldest brother. Now my brother that came home from boot camp, like I was telling him in the letters that I was struggling, and I was like, I had a lot on my mind, and he thought I was going to commit suicide and all this other stuff. And it wasn't even like that, but we were walking over there to him, or to my truck. Like this guy is like my biggest idol. Like everybody has like famous people that I like or whatever, but like besides my cousin, like my cousin that I grew up with, like he is like the utmost, like he's a role model beyond belief, and I love looking up to him. Like I'm even looking into going to the Air Force because he came home and his composure. But we were walking over there, and all I wanted was him to accept me. Like at that moment, I just didn't care about the fucking world. I just cared about him. And you know, I went to my truck. He kind of stood off to the side, and I was just like, whew. I was like, I gotta do this. This would be the second person I told. I was like, you know that stuff I was talking about, how I had stuff on my mind. And he goes, well, yeah. I was like, I'm gay. And he's like, all right. You know, just kind of like we were walking back to the house. It was really dark out, and I was like, you know, it's not a choice, right? He was like, it's all right, I know. And he was like, oh my God, like I started bawling my eyes out. I felt so much relief from just being able to be myself. And then I was like, well, I told my oldest brother that I had something on my mind also. And he goes, well, he's like, you can tell him. He's like, I'll be in the house if you need me. I was like, all right. So my brother Denny kind of knew like that me and fuck. All right, I'll just use first names. Denny's my oldest brother. David's my brother that came home from the Marines. And Denny was waiting in the car because he knew that me and David had to talk. So he was kind of sitting there because he had drove back over to the house. And I went and sat in his car. I was like, I gotta tell you something. He was like, what? I was like, I'm gay. Like he just kind of like looked like both ways, and he was like, Dustin. I was like, what? He's like, I'm sorry. Like I was like, what are you sorry for? He's like, dude, I've made all those gay jokes. And he's like his girlfriend had told me that he came home and like pretty much started crying because he felt so bad that he had said all this stuff, because just I guess he used to bash on gays or whatever, and would just make fag jokes and gay jokes, and like he never thought anything of it. And like they're totally accepting, like beyond belief. Like I could be myself. Like I mean, his girlfriend's aunt was there at the house one day, and they have their own house at their house, and she was there, and like all her like families like nymphos, I guess, and her aunt was like trying to be a cougar to me and my brother David, and was like, you guys are cute as a button. She's like, don't you go be breaking any girls' hearts? And like she didn't know, but like my brother and I did, and so did Danny's girlfriend. And I was like, oh, you don't have to worry about me. Like my brother just started cracking up. He was like, dude, I fucking love you. I was like, I know you do. He's like my idol. But hold on one sec. Alright, I know I'm all paranoid because my parents don't know yet. So if my dad comes home and I'm doing this video, it's kind of like be awkward. Be like, oh yeah, by the way, you can watch this and it'll explain everything. But he's not home. But the next people I told was my friends back at home, which I have all straight friends, like all guy friends. I'm I have like maybe one chick friend, and I don't really even talk to her that often. And coming home, my best friend, my cousin, since birth, like not since birth, but like I was adopted by my dad, so like growing up, he was like the only brother figure I had, because I have another brother who's autistic, and this is on my adopted side family, not my biological side. So we're coming back home. So I come home last weekend, and I went to lunch with my cousin. I was like, you know how I told you I had something on my mind? He was like, yeah. He was like, what is it? And we were at Applebee's, and his girlfriend works at Applebee's, and as soon as I'm about to say something, his girlfriend walks up. She's like, oh, hi, I missed you. I haven't seen you forever. Hugged me, and like my cousin was just like, God damn it. I was like, you know what? I was like, you really have good timing. And she was like, what are you guys talking about? Are you guys talking about me? You guys, and like just started jabbering. And my cousin like kind of pushed her out of the booth and was like, go get us some drinks or something. So she leaves, and I was like, I'm gay. And he was like, it was such a shock, because coming back home, it's so new to him, because he's never been close to that idea, or even like approached that idea. But you know, it just took a day to settle in. And we were texting, and he goes, he's like, doesn't matter, dude. He's like, we're always family. He's like, I don't care if we're blood or not. He's like, you're always gonna be my cousin. You're always gonna be my brother. You're always gonna be my best friend. And he's like, and it just felt good. And I educated him. Like, he started asking some questions, like, what kind of guys he into, like, what kind of, I don't know, what kind of, just certain, I don't know, just other questions. And I was like, it's just vice versa, but it's the only thing that changes coming out of the closet is who you love. And that's it. And it's hard for straight people to understand that. And then I went to my buddy's house that Saturday. I told him that Friday, I think, or that Thursday. And like that Saturday, a couple friends came home from college, and they were hanging out, and pulled my friend to the side. I was like, you come outside with me for a sec? We were talking. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gay. It gets easier and easier to say. And he was like, I kind of figured when you said you had something on your mind and all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, dude. And he's like, you are who you are. He's like, nothing you can change about it. Luckily, one of his older friends, like from way back in high school, he came out once he graduated, but he was a grade above him, so like they didn't really talk because he went to college somewhere else. So, but they were friends going through high school, and he was totally understanding once I came out. So he'd already been approached with the subject. But another buddy of mine, I was not so certain that he would accept it, because he'd never been around that stuff, and he always seemed like homophobic, but he's really not. And like we were all drunk, and I was like, I leaned over and I looked at my cousin. I was like, should I tell him? He was like, it's up to you. He's like, I might. And I was like, all right. So I looked at him, and him and my other buddy already know at this point. And he's like, dude, let's do some shots. And I was like, dude, I'm gay. He goes, no, you're not, dude. And I was like, he looked over at my cousin, he looked over at my other friend, and then he's like, he's not lying. It's like, it's who he is. He's like, dude, that's alright, dude. He's like, it doesn't change who you are. And I was like, after that, dude, all my friends, like, not all my friends, but like at that gathering, besides another kid that went home, like, they know. They don't give a shit. This is all I can say. If they truly are your friends, if you know without a fact, if you have a group of friends that you hang out with, and you, like, if you have one person that you know you could talk to right then and there, get them on your, like, they're gonna be there for you. It's gonna be tough to say. It gets easier to say. That's all I can assure. Like, this weekend, or actually today, I came out to one of my best friends. This is actually getting closer and closer to home, because like they live. I don't get to really see them all the time. And this kid, I grew up from like 6th grade to when I graduated. This kid's been with me like ever since I pretty much moved to Charlotte. I don't know. No. Where did I? Anyways, we started hanging out because we lived in the same neighborhood. We've been friends ever since. And he was like, he thought I was lying. I was like, why would I? He's like, well, it's whatever you choose. I was like, dude, that's the number one thing. It is not a choice. I was like, why would I ever choose? Why would I choose like to live? I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, but why would I ever choose this life over, being accepted for you are, not accepted? It's hard for me to explain because I don't know, but like some people might understand out there understand it, but what I'm pretty much trying to say is your real friends will be there for you. Your family will be there for you. Like, even though I haven't came out to my parents yet, like, I'm pretty sure they have huge hearts, and even though they might have a little disagreement or they might not fully understand it, like, you're still their child. They still love you no matter what. Some people are going to be harder to tell, but overall, they will always love you. And like this weekend, I'm probably gonna come out to my dad. I don't know about my mom. My mom has a big mouth. That's why, like, we never had the greatest relationship, because she'd always be nosy and always try to get my, like, she'd always ask me those questions, like, who are you seeing, But overall, I just really think she wants me to be happy, and like that's all parents want you to do is be happy. And like my dad, he just started going on these walks, and I've went like twice with him. Like we just talked about everything. So I'm just thinking about like just telling him on one of our walks, and just kind of explaining it to him. It's like a 2-mile walk. It's ridiculous. Like I didn't think my dad could walk that far, but definitely great, like liberation. All that build up from so many years, like finally taking that mask off. You can be yourself. Like I was to the point, like I would go from what I wanted to do with my life based on whether I'd be accepted or not there. Like my dad owns his own business. I was like I can go work for my dad. I was like, that'd be awesome. But what if he doesn't like me? What if he doesn't like the idea? What if he just shuns me away? And I was like, okay, so I'm a welder, by the way. And I was like, well, I can just go to school for welding, I was like, what if they find out, I was like, what can I do to, I don't know. But so I looked at the Air Force or military. That was my main objective because I don't want people to know who I was. So I was gonna run away, but I just didn't think that was fair to my family. So great feeling, definitely. Like you climb this mountain, you're on top of it, and you're just like, where do I go now? Is there another bigger mountain? Like the next mountain would be life once you come out. And honestly, it's the best feeling. And you always see videos of people being like, it gets better, it gets better. I was one of those kids that didn't think it'd get better. I was like the kid that was going to take it to the grave. I was a kid that was going to be, nobody was going to know except for me. Like almost to the point where you kill yourself. But that's not fair to my family. That's not fair to the people I love. That's not fair to the people that love me. So give them a chance. Might be a shock. Let them sit on it for a couple weeks. They will love you. And I'm probably gonna make another video about my parents. So stay tuned. Subscribe. Tell me what you like about this video. Most people think, like I was always looking for a video about people that resemble me or people that are on the, like straight people like to look at it, or just other people like on a spectrum, like feminine. I was never feminine. So like I'm a welder. I work with my hands, people wouldn't think like a welder would be gay, but look, I'm right here. So I definitely wanted to make a video to help people out, and just tell me what you think, comment, do whatever you gotta do, and have a great day, and see ya.